Hey there, friends. It's been a hot minute since we did one of these off-the-cuff things, but I have an opportunity to talk about a subject matter that is near and dear and close to my heart today, and as such, I feel it necessary. That topic is ninjas.
More than a weapon, it is the soul of a Shinobi.
I recently had a chance to sit down and play some upcoming games that are coming out of the SEGA stable. Then one of them was a surprise entrant that we saw the trailer for it, we were excited for it, it was on my radar, but after having played it, it's muscled its way through to like my top 3 most anticipated games. And that game is Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Hands-on with this thing. To use ninja terms, it's razor sharp, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Now, the Shinobi series, I think it started all the way back on the Mega Drive, and this is, I guess, a very quiet IP because I don't think it's had a game for...
When did the last Shinobi game come out? I've spelt that as Shinboy.
Completely skipping the AI recap because that is rubbish. The last Shinobi game came out in August of 2025. No, so Shinobi hasn't had a game out since 2011, and that was the 3D, Shinobi 3D on the 3DS. But the one that's near and dear to my heart, and it's the one that I remember most, was Shinobi for the PS2. Oh, I think I got this for my 18th birthday, so I'm feeling incredibly old right now. So Art of Vengeance is effectively serving as a resurrection of this IP because the world needs more ninjas, let's be clear, or at least ninja-based games. I think more ninjas could pose a problem. And the people putting it together are Lizardcube, and they're the people that made that absolutely stunning Streets of Rage 4 game, which, like, tell me this isn't very, very pretty. So it should come as no surprise that Art of Vengeance is drop-dead gorgeous as well. The 2D art is absolutely stunning. The environments are that incredible sort of mix of 2D, 3D with a bit of trickery where you sort of approach things within the game world, and they are 3D, but it's only done in a subtle way to sort of make it work. It's not like, hey, 3D environment, side-scroller, just a little bit of perspective. I love it. The combat is absolutely razor-sharp, ridiculous. Like, you are jumping, you are doing dive kicks, you can throw shurikens, you have ninja arts, and here's the thing. Shinobi has a formula, or at least it has a very specific gameplay aesthetic to it that if you've played Shinobi before, you start to realize that you are playing Shinobi again. Here, let me clarify. It's been a hot minute since I've played a Shinobi game, and in my gameplay offering, I was able to go through the tutorial and then jump into a later save file that gave me an idea of what the game will look like when you're a couple of hours in. While playing through the tutorial, I was learning how to jump, double jump, dash, roll away, that kind of stuff. But the thing that surprised me was that when I started fighting, my fingers started to know what to do before I had been told how to do it. Because Shinobi likes to do this really cool thing where you make use of ninja arts, either to execute an enemy that's already weakened or do cool ninja effects. And I've done this in those games before, and the modern incarnation in Art of Vengeance doesn't have to reinvent the formula, it just has to make it modern again. So I plowed through the tutorial, having an absolutely wild time, countering attacks and getting out of the way and doing that amazing, seriously, ninja executions are top tier cool. So I grew tired of my entry-level ninja self and decided to jump into the later save game to see what happens when the game really starts to pour the mustard on. And you know what? I didn't do half bad. That's not a humble brag. That's not me saying that, yes, I am absolutely a top-tier Shinobi. No. It speaks more to the fact that the game's mechanics are so very beautifully woven together that if you've played it before, you'll probably pick it up pretty quickly, but if you haven't played a Shinobi game before, they are intuitive enough to make you feel like you are, for lack of a better term, a ninja or a Shinobi. In the later game save file, there was more enemies, there was more projectiles, but more importantly, there was more hazards within the game world for me to try and avoid. I was navigating over this swamp area with these floating platforms, and the longer that I stood on a platform, the more it started to sink down into the water, and, it's a side-scrolling game. Water and pitfalls. They're not good, they're bad. So I'd find myself jumping from platform to platform, fighting and trying to stay in the air and make use of my environment in really great ways, which, admittedly, is a very ninja-like thing to do. The more involved enemies involved like little goblin dudes that would charge at me, and there was these crazy guys who would like bend over backwards to hoof the axe over their head like they were trying to do a bottle flip or something. It was nuts. And the way that these environments kept shifting and changing actually made it super duper cool. Like, it's a side scroller, but it doesn't move screen to screen. It just means that you sort of seamlessly move from one environment to the next. And as you sort of beat a screen full of bad guys, you head off and enter the next part of it. And it means that you'll find yourself looking at really cool new locations. After my time jumping on the floating platforms, I was sort of expecting that I'd end up at like an Imperial Palace or, something quite traditional, but instead, I actually ended up in an industrial area with sort of metal walls and spinning hazards that kind of caught me off guard, but I still felt super hyped when I saw them. During this section, I was sliding down walls and jumping through gaps to sort of find my way to switches to open up the next area, and there was a surprising amount of verticality in there. Like, I was heading up a lot more than I expected to. There was cool new enemies to fight, and at this point, I actually had a few more ninja arts that I could use, including the ability to breathe fire, which, it's ninja magic, baby. I don't need to explain nothing. It's honestly probably the most comprehensive and complete 2D combat experience I've had since, I guess, Dead Cells came out, and I mean, that's saying a lot considering that Dead Cells was absolutely a banger. So at the end of my gameplay experience, I probably ended up playing way more of Shinobi Art of Vengeance than I was supposed to, but I regret nothing because it is absolutely diabolically fun to play, fast, frenetic, but incredibly tight. You feel so wonderfully in control of what you do, and when you do eat shit, it's because you weren't ninja enough, and that's fine. The one thing I'd love to leave people with when you're looking out for this game is that something that I'm very excited about is that it appears that within the game, when you're selecting your gameplay experience, you do have an option to choose between the narrative setting of the game and the arcade setting of the game, which if you remember older Shinobi games, they were very arcadey, getting around, racking up scores, killing things in flashy ways. I love that idea. I love the idea that I can play through an intended narrative experience, or I can just hit the Go Ninja Go button and just have a Shinobi good time. That's great. I love it. So it's shaping up to be something really special. It's going to be coming out on the 29th of August, and if you are a ninja enthusiast, if you are a Shinobi enthusiast, or just a person of discerning taste, keep an eye out for Shinobi Art of Vengeance because it slaps. That's the word. It slaps.
Oh, neat. As a poster? Oh, man. Genuinely one of my prized possessions. What a great time. Shinobi.